Welcome to BBC London. Good to have you with us. First this evening, it's a stark warning. Could more than 35,000 jobs in the capital be at risk because the government isn't targeting enough economic support in the right places? That's the claim from the business exhibitions industry in London, which has been shut since March due to coronavirus. And today, as the furlough scheme reduces and begins to wind down, they fear there won't be much of an industry left when the pandemic is over. With more, here's our work and money correspondent, Mark Ashdown.
Live events are crucial to London, generating billions of pounds, supporting thousands of jobs. The promise was all this could start again from today. But a week ago, the government backtracked, leaving event organisers feeling abandoned.
It's horrendous. It's absolutely horrendous. If somebody said to me many moons ago that your entire revenue tap was going to be switched off in February and you're going to be given no idea when it's going to come back, I'd have told you you're mad. And 16 years of working my buns off to build this business, support my team, my staff, my customers, and it's all washing down the toilet at the moment.
Well, Excel is one of the jewels in London's crown, normally hosting 400 events a year, welcoming 4 million people through the doors. Today was supposed to be the big restart, but as you can see, it's empty. And there are warnings today, the entire industry is close to collapse.
We're sitting in a cliff edge of job loss now, where when I saw the research this morning saying that 80% of jobs are likely to be lost now in the events, the business events and conferences sector, unless the government can evolve their strategy and support us. That's devastating. So the human impact for London across the events industry is huge.
I'm a single mum, my mortgage is based on my earnings. I still have a good job, but I can't work.
For 14 years, Jo has been organising Money Can't Buy live experiences. But with venues closed since March and now for at least the next 6 months, she, like so many others, has been left feeling high and dry.
We don't know what we can plan. We don't know when we can start operating again, as in delivering live events. So how can you convince someone to book something, even if you put all the provisions and the safety procedures and everything in place that we can as professionals do for larger numbers? If they can't happen and they're going to have to quarantine and all of that sort of thing that surrounds it, no one's going to want to book at the moment.
Meanwhile, over in Germany, there's this.
Starting with the caravan salon, Messe Düsseldorf is holding its first event in Corona times. Wider corridors, more space and a close-knit hygiene concept await visitors.
Live events are running safely in various European cities, taking up crucial market share. And with London looking very different right now, some fear there's a long road ahead to get things back on track.
And Mark joins me, and I guess it's over to the government, really, to find a way forward.
Well, yeah, look, firstly, an update on this story. Jo, who you saw there, phoned me earlier and said she had a conference call with her bosses today and they've now made her redundant. So, tough times for her. Thousands of other people out there in the same situation. What will the government do, as you say? The industry, I think, hopes one of two things. Either more financial support to keep these jobs going for now, or some kind of green light to get some things back up and running. Well, earlier, we spoke to the Minister for London, Paul Scully.
It's so frustrating that we can't get the economy fully open at the moment, but we're trying to make sure that we work with people to get the transmission of the virus reduced. We're learning to live with the virus, but I want to make sure that we can get the events industry open as soon as possible. In the meantime, that we're working with them to see how we can go about that, what support they need. We're listening to them all the time.
Mark, tough times, and the furlough scheme is changing today, as we've been hearing.
Yeah, look, it's always been the idea that this scheme would pay 80% of people's wages if they can't work because of COVID. Last month that changed. Originally the government paid all that 80%, but last month it changed so the government paid 70%, employers topped it up with the other 10%. But from today, that's scaling back again. Now the government will pay just 60% of salaries. Employers will be expected to top up that extra 20%. So increased pressure on businesses really to do that, find extra cash if for some of them trade hasn't picked up yet.
And from November, it stops altogether.
Yeah, that scheme finishes, a new one comes in. This is called the Job Support Scheme. That's a bit more complicated, so bear with me. So from then, an employee is expected now to work a third of their usual hours. Now, they get paid as normal by their employer for that that third, but the other work they can't do, the employer will pay another third, the government will pay a third, and they won't get paid for a third as well. The idea is they'll only lose out, hopefully, on about 22% of their wages. That should be enough to keep them going. Keep those jobs viable is the crucial term for the time being. This scheme will run for the next 6 months. But what about people working in events like that? Their jobs, they can't work any hours. So in effect, in the eyes of the scheme, their jobs aren't viable anymore, so they don't get any support at all. They're worried that, for the time being, they can't do anything. Everyone in the industry will say those jobs will be crucial going forward as soon as they can get things up and running again. So they're feeling a bit abandoned, and they're really hoping that ministers will look again at this because it is a crucial industry.
Yeah, I know you'll be following this closely, as will many Londoners. Mark, thank you.